Hey everyone, welcome to The Writing Glitch. I'm Cheri Dotterer, your classroom coach. If you've been listening to The Writing Glitch for a while, you know that just recently I started doing product reviews. But if you go back to previous years, I did some other special things at the beginning of the school year last year. And the year before that, I opened up The Writing Glitch. This is season 3 that you're listening to right now or watching, depending on how you're what, engaging in the podcast. If you didn't know this, we do have a YouTube channel, and we also provide this on audio only on podcasts. Today, we are going to do a product review. So I'm the only one that's going to be here today. There is no interview. We're going to review Nessy. Last week, you saw my interview, or if you haven't, go back to last week's episode and listen to the founder and what he has to say about how Nessy got started. Today, we're going to take a glance through what Nessy has to offer in their program. Before we begin, let's hear a word from our sponsor. At Disability Labs, we are committed to impact the journey of 200,000 teachers by 2030 so they can reignite their passion for teaching. Our professional development series focuses on math and writing strategies to help all students in your classroom. These interventions improve students with and without disabilities. All students have access to mathematics and writing skills. For October, we are running a special here at Disability Labs. Get your limited edition holiday box for teachers, occupational therapists. This year, it's a buy one, gift one offer. We have information sheets on dyslexia, on dysgraphia, and dyscalculia. We also have some accessories for you, and I have some right here to share with you. We have these beautiful earrings that are going to be included in the box, and we also have a bangle bracelet that goes with the earrings. We also have a bunch of other surprises for you. But that being said, go to the link in the show notes to learn more about the box. Now, on with the show. I hear teachers talk about scope and sequence all the time, especially when they're talking about the development of what is happening with lesson plans in the classroom. What is your scope and sequence? And I'm like, I don't know. I'm doing OT. I don't really have a scope and sequence. I just know what I have to do to help that kid. But I wanted to get a clearer idea of what scope and sequence was all about. And I found a definition on proctoredu.com. Scope and sequence refers to the organization and sequencing of content and skills in the educational curriculum. It outlines the specific topics, concepts, and skills to be taught at each grade level within a specific course, providing a roadmap for instruction. And as I was doing this search on Google, I noticed something else. There's also a thing called a curriculum map. A curriculum map is a little bit different, but a lot of times these are used interchangeably. And I grabbed a curriculum map from a school district here in Pennsylvania. Go to your school district and just see what is on the website. This just happens to be under their curriculum. And here we have ELA, here we have math, science, social studies, K-5 social studies. But let's just dive in here. Let's click in here to kindergarten curriculum, if my mouse works. Oops, we have to open up a Word doc. Let me stop the share just to make sure that you will be able to see the Word doc now that it's open. Okay. English Language Arts Kindergarten Curriculum Map. Some of the features, let me just move this over here so I have my notes for me as well. Some of the parts of a curriculum map, they start with this. Whoops, now we don't have the Word doc up. It okay, hopefully, let's see. Make sure. Okay. Now you should be able to see the Word doc. It starts out with this big overview of what is supposed to be taught at a certain segment of time. Basically, it is your course overview. Then it'll go down into some units. This one, it gives us the standard first. That is part of it. And then here is the objectives. And then over here, we have some guidelines and questions, some possible activities that the teachers can do. And if anybody is an occupational therapist listening to this, could give you some great ideas of what you can do with your students, because now you know what they're concentrating on in the curriculum. Yes, I will go to the specific teachers and ask what they're doing that day, but this gives you some guidance so that you can look at ahead of time what it is that they're going to be working on in that segment of time. And here we have highlighted teacher notes for the recommended sequence to teach letter formation. They start out with SMR. Not that I would, but that's what they're doing. And then they have this thing called an alphabet tree. Is it clickable? No, it's just highlighted. Must be a book. Yes, it's a recommended book to help supplement the teacher with learning how to write and letter formation. Here we have phonological awareness, and we have the standard here with the state of Pennsylvania, Commonwealth of Pennsylvania. And here we have the individual standards, but here we have the overall standard. Here we have the objectives and what needs to be taught in that. We're going to demonstrate understanding of spoken words, syllables, and sounds. We're going to recognize, we're going to count words in a spoken sentence. We're going to count, pronounce, and blend segment symbols and spoken words. We're going to blend and segment onsets and rhymes of single syllable spoken words. And then they're going to isolate and pronounce. I know this is not talking about writing, but I want you to see how detailed the overall curriculum is designed for the teachers. Here we have phonics and word recognition. Here we have a map of the order in which they are learning their letters and words, text analysis. With prompting and support, ask and answer questions about key details in a text. Talking more about reading, I want to come down here. Text structure, identify parts of a book, title, parts. Okay, this is not us yet as far as OT goes. Reading. We'll get to writing maybe one of these days. Maybe they don't have writing in this segment. Reading, literature, speaking, and listening. Oh, we're getting closer. Here we go. They group all of the writing in one group. That could be and should be delineated a little bit more. I think that's part of the reason why writing gets such a bad rap. This could be divided up just a little bit more, I think. But that's my own personal thoughts. We have the objectives. We're going to use a combination of drawing, dictating, and writing to compose informative and expository text. I think that has to do with the journal writing that students do. Use a combination of drawing, dictating, and writing to focus on one specific topic. With prompting and support, generate ideas and details to convey information that relates to specific topic. Make logical connections between drawing and dictation and writing. With prompting and support, illustrate using details and dictate, write, and using descriptive words. Demonstrate a grade appropriate command of conventions. Okay, now we're getting into big words here. Conventions of standard English, grammar, usage, capitalization, punctuation, and spelling. That's the first time I hear any link to what the DSM-5 has to say, where it is a disability and dyslexia is a disability, or dysgraphia is a disability in punctuation, capitalization, grammar, and spelling. Here we is the first time I really get to hear that in the kindergarten curriculum. And we have these ones other guidelines to go through. You can stop and listen to those or for those. For those in your own school. I wanted to pause here. Teacher notes: capitalize the first word in a sentence, recognize and use and punctuation, spell simple words and phonetically use nouns, verbs, and prepositions. And then they have 3 books. So why couldn't you, as the occupational therapist, take those 3 books and utilize them as part of your routine, build and give them more experience? Because the more we experience the same thing over time, the more it's going to stick, the more it's going to make sense, the more it's going to relate to what else is happening in the school. Writing, opinion, and argumentative. And here we have this whole section of writing standards. They sure do block a lot there. And then here we have 3 more books that we could choose from as far as books to help with arguments. And here we have narrative, and then we have all of those standards, and we have all of these objectives. And here we have tasks. I have briefed over these. I haven't even really just talked about this as I can statements. I can draw and write. I can add descriptive words. I can make my picture and writing connect. Great sentences that we can have displayed in the OT room to help these students have positive thoughts. These curriculum maps are a guide to help us with knowing what the teachers are looking at in our schools. Go to your school's website, look under curriculum, and see if you can find your curriculum map. You may have to be an employee to see the map. That one just happens to be out there that I was able to download it. Oh, changed screens and now I don't know where I am. Why did I even go over that? When I was looking through today's company, Nessy products, I was trying to decide what is good and what is not good about their program. And what I discovered was that Nessy has a lot of cute little games, but are these games aligned with the science of reading? They have, and I'm trying to manage my screens here. They have, forgot, I have to share my screen. They have an online program. Their online program, oops, I probably should stop. I need to share the sound when I have some of these guys open. They gave me permission to sample some of their products. When I go into Nessy Reading assesses a student's reading and spelling skills. It is aligned with the Slauson SORT revised version 3 reading test, which targets word recognition. Here we're going to be looking at word recognition. Now, I have done some of the spelling levels already. We're not starting at ground zero, but oops. Oh, we went back. When I look at the different islands, we click into the island. The first lesson that you get is just about letter sounds. Then we get CBC. Then we get BD, syllables, those blends. And then we have Y and L. And then we have tricky words. And then we can go on to island 2. What you get are these games that include all of the sounds. And if we look back at scope and sequence and curriculum mapping, these follow what is recommended for those grades. Let's hop in and see what one of these games looks like. We are going to go to Island 2. Get ready for the challenge. Hoo-hoo, we're getting ready.
Call. Call me.
Call. I need to spell the word call. Okay, I'm going to spell it correctly this time. Hoo-hoo, we get rid of the cloud.
Dry.
Land. I'm going to spell it wrong this time. Oh, we get to try
Land.
again.
Dry land.
This is auditory. It's
Kick a ball.
It's forcing the students to listen so that they can spell the words. Can I go back? Oh, that's right. I need to go back here. Oh, I need to hit OK and go this way. You get a sample where it's really listening to what is the game is saying so that they can spell the words. We can, if we're working on typing skills with them, we can potentially do this game with the students. And it's great for teachers for reinforcement of the words that they've been learning in class. Yeti Mountain, I don't have access to. According to their website, Yeti Mountain assesses the 6 areas of learning and memory: visual word memory, auditory sequential memory, visual sequential memory, processing speed, which is something that we deal with a lot, phonological awareness, and working memory, which is also something we deal with a lot. I'm not sure how that game works, but because I wasn't able to see it, but it is there. And let's see what Nessy Fingers is. That is going to assess typing skills. We're going to go to A to G.
Key positions A to G. In this lesson, you will learn almost a third of the alphabet using just one hand. Rest all your fingers gently on the home key and your thumb on the space bar. No, not you, Nessy. Can you feel the bumps?
That's very slow
Do you
at
remember
helping
what
them
G,
understand
H
what to
stands
do.
for?
I like this.
Go home.
Go home.
When you move a finger, your whole hand moves a little.
I don't want to go too far into it. I just want to show you what it looks like. If I'm going to compare that to a free app, it's great for that kindergarten age. I don't have access to Number Sense. That's a bummer. Jungle Town. I was trying to figure this one out. I got in here a little bit ago. This is a great ADL one, by the way. And we're going to go back. That one I'm finding more difficult to manage. That's the only one I can seem to open right now. Okay, let's go to the writing beach. It looks like everybody's sleeping. How do we get somebody to do something? Oh, aren't they cute little guys? Airy sentences. Find the periods, then tap go. My sister was waiting to catch the bus. She yelled at the driver, but he did not stop. Wonder what happens if we don't if we don't get one right. We were driving home after school. Oh. Oh, how cute is that? He doesn't go on the pile. But you can see up here that since we got one wrong, I had to show you this. Off he goes. Now we have Harry reading.
The Harrys and the Yetis have all been frozen. You can save them by collecting nuggets. First, you will take the cookie challenge.
What we're doing.
Welcome to the cookie challenge. To get the cookie at the top of the mountain, you must play the Yeti games.
Okay, we're just gonna play a little bit here.
Sprinkle some Yetis. When you hear a sound on the letter block, do this as quickly as you can. Oh, it's important you do it without any help, or the Yetis might take you to the wrong games. I will listen to the sound and the letter.
S.
Look at this Yeti at the side. Tap the Yeti's tongue to hear the word again.
S.
Your turn.
A.
That sounds like it's definitely something for those beginner sounds. Now, why are they set up the way they are? I am not sure. But back to login as admin. On the back end, there's all kinds of stuff that you as the teacher or the occupational therapist can keep track of with your students so that as they're moving through the different games, you can keep track of them, which is pretty nice. You don't have to be standing over them. It's great for a whole classroom activities. Does this meet the requirements for science of reading? It's going through the scope and the sequence of reading skills. It's addressing basic writing skills by just with the identification. I don't see it doing anything for us directly as an occupational therapist, except for that writing segment. We could be pausing and not letting the students move on to the next one and practice writing what they see on the screen. We could utilize that in as a copying activity. Does it follow the curriculum mapping? I believe it does. As a supplemental activity, it's something that they can do in their independent time. I could see this if we were doing a collaborative session with some students in the classroom. The teacher could be seeing one group, OT could be seeing another group. If we include speech, they could be seeing a third group, and the fourth group could be working on Nessy. And then we would rotate around the room, and each one of us will be able to target the students that we need to target and still be able to create activities that the whole classroom could engage in, even in small group sessions. Or they only get to your small group happens and you're getting to do what you need to do in that one segment of time, and you have a specific group of kids in that classroom. That's where I see that this would be very helpful. Now, let me jump out of here and get back to my page of notes. Let me summarize. Nessy reading and spelling assesses students' reading and spelling skills. Yeti addresses all those perceptual memory categories. Nessy fingers works on typing skills. Nessy number sense works on number sense. Jungletown builds a student's reading and spelling skills, and I'm not quite sure how it does that. I could not figure out Jungletown, but maybe you can. Writing Beach helps with sentence structure, parts of speech, conjunctions, paragraph writing. Harry Reading helps develop phonics, phonemic awareness, vocabulary comprehension, fluency, spelling, and morphology. I just touched on a little bit of each one of the games today, but each one of them goes through the whole scope and sequence of the science of reading. This does qualify as an independent working program for the students, or as an occupational therapist with remediation, you could utilize this program to help remediate. The cost, let's share my let's share my screen here and go to their main website. Share my screen. Now let's move me out of the way here. All right. Nessy for school, Nessy for home. Parents can buy this as well. I'm going to share that one because there's prices on that page. If you buy each one of the individual classes sections, they're each like $13.50. Nessy Fingers, touch typing and spelling program, that's $55 a year. It's really not that bad as far as cost goes. Now, if you're an occupational therapist, you're going to have multiple students. You probably want to look at Nessy for schools, and you're going to need to look down here on how the price works. And you can see it's at nessy.com. And all I've been doing is clicking on these tabs up here. If your school does not utilize Nessy as part of their curriculum, there is no reason that you can't do that. Also, there is a free trial, which is how I was able to take a glance at each one of those segments and each one of the classes because they gave me a free trial for one student. I was only able to have it for 90 days. The trial period isn't real long. And it's only for one student. Multiple students, you can't record their answers efficiently. It's something to think about. And as an occupational therapist, to utilize that to supplement your current curriculum or lesson planning. Thank you for listening today. It was a pleasure having you. And remember, you were put here for such a time as this. I'm Cheri Dotterer, your classroom coach, and it is always great to have you come. Do me a favor, though. Hit subscribe so that you don't miss next week's episode. And write me a review, please. You can write a comment in YouTube. You can write a review, especially on Amazon. And I think now you can on Spotify as well. Maybe not some of the other platforms, but do me a favor. Let me know how I'm doing. Is this product review idea something that you're enjoying, or is it something that I should stop? Let me know. Have a great day and a great week. Thanks a bunch.